On a breezy April afternoon, my life took an unexpected turn when I encountered a stray cat who would soon capture my heart. What began as a fleeting moment of curiosity blossomed into a tale of resilience, trust, and love. A story of an extraordinary feline who found his way into our family and forever changed our lives. Let me take you back to last April, the first time I met him. It was a breezy afternoon when I spotted him, sitting alone near the corner of a small shop. He looked so tiny, disheveled, and cautious, like he had weathered too many storms for such a young age. His fur was matted, with a scruffy tuft hanging awkwardly under his neck, and his big, wary eyes seemed to tell 1,000 stories. Despite his guarded demeanor, he meowed as soon as I squatted down, a soft plea that I couldn't ignore. Was he hungry? Lonely? Or just curious about the human who had stopped to notice him? We happened to have some cat food in our car, so my husband hurried to grab it while I stayed behind, trying to comfort the little guy. As I knelt there observing him, I noticed how dirty his coat was, with patches of fur missing. Yet, there was something irresistibly charming about him. Perhaps his vulnerability, or the way he seemed to trust me, even if just a little. When my husband returned with the food, the cat's cautious reserve melted into eager anticipation. He devoured the meal as though he hadn't eaten properly in days. His gratitude showed in every bite. Though I was tempted to scoop him up and bring him home, I hesitated. I already had 2 cats, and the thought of potentially introducing diseases to them made me tread carefully. Still, I couldn't get him out of my mind. The next day, we returned to check on him. He was in the same spot, curled up and looking so vulnerable. A food bowl nearby suggested he might belong to someone, but his ragged appearance said otherwise. He barely stirred, only opening his eyes briefly when we spoke to him. Despite his unkempt state, his eyes were mesmerizing, clear, blue, and full of quiet depth. Over the following weeks, we made it a habit to visit him. Each time he greeted us with a mix of curiosity and timidity, as if torn between wanting our attention and guarding himself from disappointment. I remember one particularly rainy afternoon when we found him huddled under a makeshift shelter, a few planks of wood leaning against a wall. He looked up at us, his eyes a striking contrast to the dreary weather, and let out a soft meow that tugged at my heart. Another day, he followed us for a few steps as we walked away, as though debating whether to trust us fully. These small moments built a quiet connection, one that deepened with each visit and solidified our resolve to give him the love and care he so clearly deserved. He always seemed to be in the same spot, mostly lying around as though the world had forgotten him. One chilly day, we considered bringing him a blanket to shield him from the cold, but his tough little spirit somehow endured. Occasionally, neighbors would leave scraps of food for him, which he gratefully accepted. Yet, every time we saw him, he looked so pitiful, and my heart ached a little more. As the months rolled by, Koala's presence lingered in my mind, even when I wasn't with him. Each visit added another thread to the connection we shared, building a bond that felt both fragile and enduring. Then came New Year's Eve. I was running errands when I saw him near the entrance of a supermarket, begging for scraps from passers-by. Most ignored him, and it broke my heart. When I called out to him, he ran toward me, as if recognizing a friend. That was the moment I decided I couldn't leave him out there any longer. After discussing with my husband, we rushed home to grab a pet carrier. I prayed fervently that he would still be there when we returned. He was. With some coaxing and a bit of cat food as bait, we managed to lure him into the carrier. It wasn't easy. He was cautious, but eventually, he stepped inside. I'll admit, I felt a surge of triumph mixed with relief. He was finally safe. As darkness fell, we drove him to the vet. Hopeful, yet anxious about his health. At the clinic, he was understandably nervous, banging against the carrier walls and meowing pitifully. The vet calmed him and began the examination. To our surprise, despite his rough appearance, he was in relatively good health. He weighed just over 8 pounds, much thinner than our cats at home, and his teeth suggested he was around 1 to 2 years old. One ear had a small bite mark, and his ears were infested with mites. But his temperament was gentle and trusting, not the behavior of a feral cat. That night, we brought him home and set up a separate space for him to settle in. At first, he hid in a corner, but hunger won him over, and he ventured out to eat. Cleaning him was another challenge. His fur was so matted and dirty that wiping it with gloves barely made a difference. A full bath was the only solution. To our amazement, he remained calm throughout the process, allowing us to scrub away the grime. Once dry, his fur revealed a beautiful white coat that seemed to glow with newfound life. We decided to name him Koala. The name felt fitting for his cuddly yet scrappy appearance. Over time, Koala began to adjust to his new life. He was curious about everything, from toys to his new feline siblings, Seven and Haha. Though their interactions were tentative at first, Koala's playful nature soon brought a sense of harmony to the household. Koala's transformation was remarkable. When we first met him, his fur was a patchwork of dirt and tangles, but now it gleamed a pristine white, soft and inviting to the touch. His once cautious demeanor had given way to a playful confidence, evident in the way he chased after toys with boundless energy. Those mesmerizing blue eyes, once clouded with uncertainty, now sparkled with life and curiosity. It was as if he had shed his past struggles entirely, embracing the warmth and security of his new home. Each day brought a new discovery of his endearing quirks, cementing his place as an irreplaceable part of our family. His fur became soft and pristine, his eyes sparkled with confidence, and his playful antics brought endless joy. He had gone from a lonely, weathered stray to a cherished member of our family. Watching him now, it's hard to believe he's the same cat we found that day in April. Rescuing Koala has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. It taught me the power of compassion and the profound joy that comes from offering a second chance to someone in need. Every time I see Koala's playful antics or hear his contented purrs, I'm reminded of how much love and gratitude he has brought into our home. This journey not only deepened my appreciation for animals, but also made me realize the ripple effect of small acts of kindness. Koala has truly transformed our daily lives, filling them with laughter, warmth, and an unshakable bond. He reminds me daily of the resilience and beauty that can emerge from even the toughest circumstances. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed Koala's story, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support inspires us to share more heartwarming tales like this one. Until next time.